Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of an interesting situation going on. I mean, I guess I'm making some more enemies. You know, it's always something, man. Especially in the League of Legends community, there's so many people who just get so butthurt. So many people who just lack communication skills. I mean, I've definitely been guilty of it in the past as well. Like, you get heated, you get kind of riled up, you say some stupid stuff, you kind of react in a bad way. There's a lot of just immaturity, and I don't know. Overall, it's really, really weird. And today, we got into it a little bit on Twitter with Iwdominate, and it's totally fine. I don't know why my camera's messing up. I was just trying to get into a little bit of a discussion with him. Obviously, I was kind of, egging him on a little bit. I wasn't being the best either. But we got in a little bit of a Twitter argument with Iwdominate today, and things got a little bit personal where he let me know that he maybe, doesn't think the best of me. In this video today, we're just going to be covering what exactly happened. I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on the whole situation because there are some things that Dom is right about, and as I thought about it more, there definitely was some things that he was right about, but all in all, I still overall think he's incorrect, and especially with the way he talks to people and how he's going about things, I don't think is the best either. But overall, whatever you think, it's just a hilarious situation. Wanted to make this video, share it with you guys. Before we get into that, I just wanted to ask real quick, if you have not already, definitely smash that like button. I'd appreciate it so much. Really helps me out the YouTube algorithm, just growing my channel, my content, getting my videos out to more and more people. Also subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest content in the future. That'd be absolutely awesome, so you don't miss out on anything we got going on in the future. So this whole little scenario saga, it all starts out with this tweet from Iwdominate. He said, "It's funny seeing all the takes of, I won't watch LCS if the import rule gets removed, while the most viewed teams are all the ones with the most imports." He said, "I don't want the import rule removed personally, but I don't have a disillusion that the LCS would die if it was removed." Some of that I agree with, some of it I don't. My biggest problem is that him trying to call people disillusioned who believe that the LCS would die if it was removed. Now, again, I agree to an extent. I don't think it would die overnight. I don't think the LCS would be absolutely doomed, but I think the LCS already has some issues going on, and this would be another issue for them. And if you look at the fan reaction, literally the people who watch the LCS, and we're going to go through the replies to this tweet where all of the most liked replies are disagreeing with Dom, saying this is what they think or whatever. And again, a lot of these are the LCS fans. Again, no one, that's my biggest thing in this whole situation, is that whatever happens, whether the import rule gets removed, whether it stays, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. We all have our theories. We all have our reasons. We all have our logic. And again, I have my opinions, and yeah, I might think that the other side is maybe a little bit dumb or is missing the point here or there or whatever, but I know that I don't know exactly what would happen. We can look back to other leagues, we can look back to other rosters, we can look back to other scenarios, we can just form our own opinion and stuff in our head, but no one really knows for sure. So again, whichever side you stand on, the other side is at least possible. It is possible that in the long term, maybe this would be an awesome solution for the LCS. Maybe it would increase international viewership. Maybe all of a sudden everyone starts watching the LCS. That's not what I think would happen, but I don't know. Iwdominate definitely doesn't know, and he's literally going against the more kind of popular side on Twitter right now, which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes you can be right even in the minority. Obviously, that's totally fine. But when the majority is literally the people who watch the LCS and they're telling you that I would watch less LCS or I would not watch as much, and you're just so wholeheartedly disagreeing with that and calling the other side disillusioned, that's a little bit weird to me. So Amazing had what I thought was a really, really good reply. He said, "To be fair, most of the import-heavy teams had historically been established top teams too. TSM and CLG in Season 4, C9 in Season 5. The import wave in Season 6 did not really create more popular teams besides IMT, IMO." And I said, thank you. Yes, those teams, when he's talking about, obviously, the most viewership being like Cloud9, TL, TSM, they do have the most imports. Yes, okay, sure, yeah. I mean, you can't deny that yes, those teams do have more imports, and yes, imports aren't necessarily hurting their viewership. Right now, the fact that TL has 4 imports, that's not making anyone be like, oh, TL 4 imports, I'm not watching them. But these teams also have the biggest brands with the biggest established fan bases, even, kind of before importing. I mean, there was a time when TSM wasn't 4 imports. There was a time when Team Liquid wasn't 4 imports. There was a time when Cloud9 wasn't 4 imports. But another thing is, they also have the best native talent. Everyone wants to talk about, oh, well, look at Dignitas viewership. They have a full NA team and nobody really cares about them. Okay, well, Dignitas doesn't have the best North American talent. If there was a team of Licorice, Blabber, Demonte, Tactical, and Vulcan, you think that team wouldn't get viewership? You think that team wouldn't be up there in viewership with all of these teams right now just because they're full North American? I just really had an issue with Dominate dumbing it down so far as to say that, you know, look at the top teams right now. They have imports and viewership isn't going down. Or look at the top teams right now. They all have imports and the viewership goes up. And he had this absolute banger of a reply, which is absolutely hilarious. He said, every time I see your name, you mischaracterize my arguments and straw man. You're such a fucking weird person, laughing my fucking ass off, which I thought was hilarious. Where did this come from? I have gone back and forth with Dominate on Twitter a little bit before. He had some tweet when we were talking about ways to grow on Twitch, where he was saying that the only way, or one of the only ways, I don't remember exactly what he said, but something to the extent of, I'm not trying to quote him or anything, or misquote him, or misconstrue what he said, but essentially to the extent of, the only way or the best way for a medium-sized stream to grow is by smurfing. And all I told him was, there is so many other ways to grow streams besides smurfing. You can improve content. You can make a YouTube channel. You can go for more searches. You can do whatever content is hot at the moment. Like people have gained viewership not by smurfing. And even if you do gain viewership by smurfing, it's not viewership that's going to last. And Dominate just would not back down from his argument. I just kept telling him, hey, I don't think you're right. And I told him about Harris Heller, and I told him about Ludwig and their ideas for creating a big Twitch stream, and showed him how I have been able to bring a Twitch stream from zero viewers to like 60 viewers before. Yeah, he's talking about in the thousands, but I'm just saying in my experience, just the things that I've been able to do as someone who is not even good at League of Legends at all. He didn't like that. He got mad. Obviously, he took that personally. And he says every time he sees my name, I mischaracterize his arguments and straw man. This isn't even a straw man, so I don't know if he knows exactly what that means. But also, just the fact that I have agreed with him plenty of times. I follow him. I think he's a great follow on Twitter. Obviously, he makes a great League of Legends account. He's always saying stuff about the game. And when you tweet as much as he does, you're going to say some good stuff, some correct stuff, some good tweets, and you're going to say some stupid shit too. Like, look at me. I have so many YouTube videos I'm tweeting all the time. I say shit that I look back on, I'm like, wow, I probably shouldn't have said that. Or wow, I wish I would have said something different there. Or, wow, that isn't really even what I meant to say. But I hope I say some good stuff as well. And that just happens when you are someone who's constantly giving opinions, thoughts, you know, like, not everyone's gonna have the best opinion and stuff all the time. And again, look at these replies to Iwdominate's tweet. All of the things it said, it wouldn't die, but surely it would hit hard in viewership and lose loyal fans who used to associate with the region. And then he said, why do people randomly believe this? And it's like, people don't randomly believe it. People are telling you what would happen. And he said, what evidence do you have that nothing will change if the rule was removed? And he's saying that the owners care more about viewership than anyone, and people are just kind of, you know, going back and forth with him on that. And it just, I mean, he has so many people that are saying this is a bad take. Like, I don't get why me telling him what my thoughts and opinions are, it was such a problem for him, and why he had such a bad reaction, and why, you know, if he wants to tell me why he's right or state his case or his argument or whatever, instead of saying you're such a fucking weird person, like, I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to lose any sleep about Iwdominate trying to come after me or whatever. I also think it's hilarious that his tweet got 1 like from Tasty S4. So if you guys see him, you know, let him know he's not welcome here. But also, I mean, what does he have? 240,000 followers. He got 1 like. Obviously, it's pretty deep in the thread and stuff like that, but I just thought it was funny that, I don't know, most people are getting ratioed and stuff, and, you know, I was able to fight that off at least. My tweet got 5 likes, his got 1. I have like 1,000 followers. He has 250,000. So I thought that was funny at least, and I just thought this was really, really weird. But then, to get back to the main point of, I won't watch LCS if the import rule gets removed, yet while the most viewed teams are the ones with imports. Something that I also responded to him, I think I quoted this tweet right here. I said, also, isn't LCS viewership literally declining year over year? He's saying, oh, you know, all the most viewed teams are all imports. Well, I mean, if you actually go look at the numbers, you will see that this is a Reddit post about LCS viewership in spring 2020 compared to spring 2019, spring 2018. You will see that viewership is literally, I mean, this, obviously we don't have the 2021 numbers just yet, but we have the 2020 numbers, we have the 2019, 2018 numbers. You'll see that in spring 2020, viewership was down 11% from the year before, 18% from 2 years ago, and it's not because League of Legends is dying or LOL Esports is dead or anything like that. LEC saw 10% growth, 48% growth from 2 years before. LCK has seen 125% growth in 2 years, 78% growth over 1 year. So many of these leagues are seeing growth. Yes, there are some other leagues, you know, maybe in a little bit of trouble as well. The LMS, OPL, obviously some leagues that are not seeing as much growth. But, I mean, the fans are literally saying that viewership is not increasing right now. Viewership is not at an all-time high. We're importing more than ever, but we're not getting more views than ever. Now, the one thing I will admit here is I don't exactly know what the viewership for like TSM is, or TL or C9. Like, has TL viewership specifically increased as they've been importing more? Has C9 viewership increased more? Like, is C9 more popular of a team now that they have more imports back versus like the original Cloud9 days, like the full North American team? Like, I don't think so, but I also don't know. I don't have that hard data or anything like that. But I just did think this was super funny because, again, there's definitely three sides to every story, one side, and probably the truth is really somewhere in the middle. I mean, we're going to find out what happens to all this stuff in the future. One side, we're going to see what happens. One side, we're not. But again, for anyone to act too much like they know exactly what would happen, or, I just don't get it. I think it's a really, really weird take from Dom. I think it's a bad tweet overall. I think he is really not kind of taking into consideration the other side and the other arguments, especially when people are literally telling him how it would affect their viewing experience of the LCS. I believe people can be overreacting a little bit. I don't think the LCS would completely fall apart instantly, but I think the LCS is already in a bad spot with viewership already declining. This is something that would, to some extent, at least push some people away. Some people that are saying they would watch less or none at all, some of them are telling the truth, probably not all of them, but it would also affect the region, the ladder, the lower players that are trying to make it in competitive so much. It would shake out so much in the North American scene that could potentially have lasting impact on the LCS, even if we don't see that 1, 2, 3 years. I think it is almost undoubtable that we would see some kind of impact in the North American scene in the medium term, like probably 5 or 6-ish years at the very most, if not even sooner than that. And again, would that mean the LCS was dead? Would it die? Who knows exactly? Again, maybe saying it's going to die like completely is probably an overreaction, but I mean, it's already kind of on the border of most of the teams aren't making money. Viewership's declining. They're not getting results internationally. Like, the LCS isn't going right in a lot of ways. The production value hasn't been there. Everyone's saying that the LEC is killing it. The LCS is slacking behind. You're getting English broadcast for some of the other leagues, which are doing very, very well and continuing to grow. European regional leagues are growing, bigger than ever before. I think NA viewership's like at the level of like CB LOL at this point. I don't know. I mean, if anything, I think it's a little disillusioned to say that the LCS is just going to be fine and that this could have no potential negative impacts. But again, I just think there's way more to it. I just thought this was absolutely hilarious. I don't know. It always seems like for whatever reason we're going at it with somebody. And again, part of it I understand. I'm always treating people. We're always, I'm giving my opinions on stuff. I mean, because Dominate, he can give his opinion on what he thinks is gonna happen, but people can't reply to him with his opinions. Like, again, I'm not just like looking to pick fights with Iwdominate. You can look at my Twitter. There's plenty of times where I've said, "Wow, Iwdominate, this is a great point. This is an awesome tweet. I totally agree with this. Yes, you get it. You understand. We're thinking on the same wave." And then there's times where I've said, "Dom, like, you're an idiot. I don't agree with what you're saying at all." It's not, he's trying to say that I'm weird because every time he tweets, I strawman him or something. Like, I don't know, super, super weird, but also pretty fucking hilarious as well. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I love it. Obviously, I get awesome support from you guys saying if you have to refer to a personal insult, then you automatically lost the argument. No, I think it's great. You guys do an awesome job. And we're going to be okay. But again, we'll see what his fan base or what he has to say in the future. I don't know. I'm going to keep tweeting at him. I'm going to keep sharing my opinions. This is our thing. This is what we do. But I don't know. I mean, somebody's always going to have an issue with it. I mean, it sucks to, I guess, make enemies in the scene, especially somebody as like powerful and as influential as Iwdominate. But I'm also just not going to like kiss his ass because that would just be weird as well. If he says something that I don't agree with or something that I think is stupid, I'm going to, talk about it or give my thoughts and opinions, just like, you can say he's going to do to me. And I'm not saying these kind of things to him. Also, just the fact that somebody so big is saying things like that down to somebody much smaller than them, that is also really, really weird and really bad and most likely something that someone shouldn't be doing. Again, we all have our moments of doing it here or there, but overall, I mean, it's not a great look. It's not a great habit to get into. But it is what it is. It's going to be okay. But yeah, this was Iwdominate's attempt at roasting me on Twitter, given some of his, arguments, given some of his takes. And I was trying to have some back and forth. We were trying to kind of go at it, but in the end, we didn't really get his full opinions there because this tweet did not have much substance, unfortunately. But what are you going to do? That's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. I would appreciate it so much. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think Dominate's onto something? Do you think I was right? Do you think I was wrong? Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I'm a weird fucking person? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save down on my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!